how people are always like, oh, you know them, how that can turn a conversation in a couple of seconds. That's not getting into things like, I don't want to bring up ideas like quantum entanglement or just energy exchange with people and how that affects everyone. But there is like real beauty in that, and I find that to be one of those main things that drives me to act in this in a pretty community building way, I hope. Just always being accepting and knowing this person probably, I know this person isn't that far removed from me, even if I haven't ever formally met them. So I don't know if you needed a reminder to be decent to people, but here it is again. Yeah. Always treat people in a professional sense or in a manner as if they are an important aspect to your own personal life. And I've definitely made mistakes with this in my past. I'm not on perfect behavior all the time, but once I had this sort of realization, I wanted to actively do better by people, just knowing not only are those I interact with every day, or maybe just once, not that they cannot be that separated from me. But a lot of value it can add to our lives. The most amount of success you're going to have is going to be from your ability to deal with people. And that's not just me blabbering on. There really are careers dedicated to this sort of thing, how people connect and what these connections mean and can do for us. I read an article from the Harvard Business Review from a Dr. Duncan Watts on how his work actually implements the small world hypothesis, because it's that important. If we use some analogous thinking and just step outside this whole 6 degrees of separation idea to social relations as a whole, I've recently begun reading Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is this really famous book on human relations to help mitigate problems and help with career. When I say be kind to those around you, it's just basic human respect, right? If there's... just know everyone's got this massively complex life. Like, when I read Chains by the Hungarian author, I really started to think about the idea of Sonder, and just knowing everyone has their own thing going on. Especially in the program I'm in, everyone is deeply, deeply intelligent. So you cannot, and that helps with things like, that actually helps with things like imposter syndrome, for me, because it's just like gratifying to know everyone has a complex life and is just working through it for the first time. So you can offer a lot. I feel like with that, I can offer a lot of grace to people. Yeah, so let's say there's a disagreement, and I hope I can try and work through that. It's just basic human respect, right? But let's say there's a disagreement between you and someone. I often try to work through something like that when neither party is emotionally charged, because that is a surefire way to burn bridges, and that'll spread. I don't think things should be dealt with immediately. I think taking some time to respond is really awesome. And often I've been privileged enough to be given time so I can formulate a better answer and just come with my understanding of the situation, and I can hear out the other party's understanding the situation so that things can progress forward and connection can hold. There are limitations to this, of course, but yeah. The beauty in also taking some time away, let's say, from a situation, it gives us time to let go. Mel Robbins is an author, and she's done so much work on this art of letting go and being detached, because then you don't put any expectation on anyone, and it's so wonderful to have that respect by not putting expectation on anyone. Having respect for yourself is really wonderful, and it makes sure everything that comes to you then is a blessing, and that gratitude you can start to feel from the fact that you view everything as a blessing. Every person that comes into your life, or every opportunity that's given to you, will start to emanate, and that'll be deeply attractive to people. I believe my heater has just turned on the broiler, so we will just let that. So, in the act of letting go, it's not even being callous towards the situation or the person. It's releasing that like white knuckle grip on someone, because that is not respectful to yourself. And this self-respect is also present when we're kind to all those connections we have in the present moment. Because when things change, let's say you lose touch with someone, or just life happens sometimes, people will always remember the way you initially treated them and how things ended. It just, it's good to always just keep these things in mind, not to put anyone in a spell of overthinking, but again, just respect all around. I heard someone talking about how respect is really the only thing you can pay in this life, and I think that is so deeply true. And I think what you can learn from this small world hypothesis is that you need to be upfront with giving respect. And I think I've been trying to emanate this by being a different kind of person I once was, because respect is nuanced and it looks at things as a whole rather than just one situation, which I think is what, when you look at things as a whole and know that person might know someone who's very close to you. Yeah. That will be freeing, and it'll make you want to be like a conduit for showing respect, being kind, all these things. Okay. So, I'm by no means an expert in communication nor social psychology. I just thought this was a really interesting concept, and yeah, I'm also certainly not perfect in upholding all of this, but I do try my best to acknowledge the full extent of a person's personhood, really, and be there for people. Life is hard enough as it is, so why not be kind? Again, you never know what people are going through, but yeah. Okay. Something about me is I also love media, so you know what? I will go through some of my favorites of the week. For songs, it's going to be, honestly, I scripted this in winter break, and it's now the 19th of February, but the song is going to be Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode. I saw it live, and it was insane. It was insane. I saw it with my Gen X parents, and it was crazy. The movie, I'm feeling nostalgic, so how about Almost Famous or The Royal Tenenbaums? Yeah, other than that, thank you so much for listening. Spread kindness, whimsy, and peace. Peace out. It's been Marie. This has been Of No Substance.